Happy Camper Radio.
It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 248. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and you, my friends, can be a happy camper too. On today's show, we're going to be talking about ways to budget in order to save more money. And what do you do, Daniel, when you save more money? You go camping.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's one of the things you can do.
There are so many ways that you can cut the budget and save additional money. And I tell you what, it's working for me, even in my retirement years. We'll talk about it today. Save now and camp later. All for you today on this edition of Happy Camper Radio. Stick around for it.
Happy Camper Radio.
And, of course, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. You can find us in all the major podcast directories. You probably have one or two that you're already surfing through. Well, you'll find Happy Camper Radio right there. And, of course, we're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, this is where you can see Daniel and I in the studio doing the show.
Yeah.
And once you get there, look for that little box right down there with a pup tent inside of it. Well, I'm going to put Daniel's face in there one time again. You'll probably attract more viewers.
Maybe.
All right,
I don't know.
Okay, but yeah, just click on that and you'll be a subscriber to the show. You'll be able to find out anytime we have a new episode up and running. Well, Daniel, I just got back from I want to call it a beautiful camping trip that I went on. I was in Anderson, South Carolina, and I stayed at the Springfield campground.
Okay.
Was there for 5 days and 4 nights.
Ooh.
Day one, Daniel, was absolutely beautiful. We got there, we got all set up, and it was a beautiful night, too. I had sent some pictures there on Facebook. But went to bed that night, woke up the next morning, and we got dumped on overnight. Oh, Daniel.
Oh, boy.
All right. The entire duration of my camping trip from there on out was rained on.
Oh, my goodness.
It rained, and it rained, and it rained. And I feel sorry for the folks that were there with me because there were only 2 of us back in our loop when I first arrived. And then later on, we had more folks move in, some great fifth wheels and travel trailers and everything. I'm sad that I didn't see any Grand Designs there.
Oh.
Yeah, but, that's the way it goes. But they were confined to their RV just like myself. What can you do? Right? You can't predict the weather. You get there, you hope for the best, and that's all you can do.
Pretty much.
I did take a tour through the entire campground, and Daniel, not one primitive camper.
Oh.
Not a single one.
Oh, boy.
I think because of the South and being as wet as it constantly is, I think it's wearing on people. And they're following my footsteps just like I had followed in so many others.
Yep.
There comes a time where you just got to give up the primitive lifestyle and you got to get an RV.
Yep. Or a pop-up.
Or a pop-up. Yeah. I know you've got a tent. You rarely use it.
I'm using it Memorial Day. I'm going to go do some more hiking, so
All right.
I'll be in the tent.
Okay. But, that's for the type of backpacking and camping you do. That's understandable.
Yeah.
And you've been in it already, and you've had some rain dump on you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Now, you were just telling me before the show, your wife, Deidre, is car camping this weekend.
She is. She's heading back right now.
Okay. So she was out overnight.
Yeah.
And what did it do overnight here?
It rained.
It rained, yes. So, yeah, that does happen. But, I know she's enjoying it. We shared some pictures online. And, one of the previous episodes we did, we talked about it. She got a nice little operation there.
Yeah, she's working on it.
Yeah. And, and she got a nice cover over the hatchback. And, hey, it's great. I'm glad she's really enjoying it. This is one of these things where it's a girls' night out and you're not invited, right?
Yep.
Okay. But,
she's with her aunt and her sister up near Clayton.
Now, I've asked you before, and I'm going to ask you again, Daniel, when are you going to pull that pop-up out of the garage?
When I get a canopy. I need to get a canopy.
Well, you better get started because, the camping season is now here.
Yeah,
and there's going to be a lot of great days ahead. And at this particular moment, I don't have any trips lined up. My next trip right now it's scheduled is going to be in July when me and my brothers are gathering again in Mount Airy, South Carolina, or North Carolina, rather. But I'm kind of looking right now, maybe a couple weeks down the road, I'll find a spot It might be back up on Lake Lanier. You never know, okay, because there's a lot of great campgrounds there. It's not too far from home, okay, but it's far enough away that you don't have to worry about home being around the corner.
No more Stone Mountain, huh?
No more. I'm done. No, I'm done with that. Yeah. Okay, that was a 1 day adventure, or maybe 2 or 3 day adventure.
Right.
But, I realized that Stone Mountain Park is a nice campground, but it's way too close to home for us. Yeah. But anyway, Daniel, on the show today, I want to talk about budgeting. All right.
Okay.
Now, when I bought my RV, it became an additional expense. All right, because I'm making monthly payments on it. I don't know too many people that buy an RV that don't have some sort of a payment plan,
right?
Where they're going to be paying on their rig over a number of years. All right, but I also started thinking about ways to cut back on certain things. Now, when I say this, Daniel, I want to point out that everybody's lifestyle is different. What may work for me may not work for you.
Right.
But kind of use this as a template in a way to look at some of the things that you're paying for right now. Are you paying too much for certain things?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example here. A few months ago, I decided that it was time for me to look at my cell phone service.
Yeah.
Now, I love cell phone service because there's competition.
Yep.
Right? It's not like the cable company where you're stuck with it.
The internet.
Okay. Yeah. And that's just the way it is.
Yep.
Okay. And I think right now what's going to work for me best as far as cell phone coverage is to basically cut out all the things that I don't need.
Yep.
All right. I have cell phone coverage right now with a company called Consumer Cellular. It took me a moment there to think about it. All right.
There's a lot of things like that now.
Yeah, and the reason I did this, Daniel, is because my phone, okay, and I don't know about your phone, okay, but this is an iPhone 11.
Yeah.
All right. I know they have, what, is it iPhone 14 out right now?
I think that's coming out pretty soon.
I don't know what kind of features are on the iPhone 14.
Right.
But I know that this phone is paid off.
Yep.
It belongs to me. I'm not making payments on it anymore. It does exactly what I need it to do. So I'm not even focusing on any of these fancy features.
Yep.
But I had one of the big companies, without naming them here, for the longest time. I've been with them like over a decade.
Yeah.
All right. And still, with my phone being paid off, having the bare minimum coverage, I was still paying in excess of $100 a month.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I'm saying, why am I spending this kind of money? All right. When I see all these ads on TV, and this is why I like competition.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's so much of it out there. It's not like the cable company. All right. Where, you're stuck with a cable company in your area.
Yep.
There's no competition. So they can go ahead and stick it to you if they want to. But, if you don't like what this company's doing, there's other options available out there. Now, it didn't used to be that way.
Yep.
Okay. But I don't like contracts. I try to avoid contracts now at any possible turn I can find. Okay, so I stay away from that. But anyway, I saw these ads for Consumer Cellular. They're talking $20 a month.
Yep.
And it's the same coverage that you're getting with some of the big providers.
Yep.
So I went ahead
They use
and
the same towers, I think, too.
Yeah, and I went ahead, and before I even thought about going with Consumer Cellular, I'm saying to myself, well, let me go ahead and give the big company that I'm with a call, and see what we can do. They managed to knock the bill down to $80, but they wouldn't budge beyond that. And I just said to the lady on the phone, I said, look, I says I'm going to have to do some shopping around here.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. It was like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't even care.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I got in touch with Consumer Cellular. I said, let me see what $20 a month works like. Okay, there's no contract involved. Let me see if I can go ahead and cut this bill down. So I went ahead and we did what we had to do to switch over.
Yeah.
And there was no upfront cost.
That's
All right?
nice.
Yeah. And I tried it for a month and I loved it.
It helps when you own your own phone. I'm with the company you're talking about, and we just got new phones the other like last year or earlier this year, and we're paying on them, and we're not going to have them paid off for a couple years. So it kind of handcuffs us to stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens with contracts. Now, I remember the very first time that cell phones came out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, we had the big bag phones. Remember those?
Oh boy.
And we had the phones
The
that looked
cars.
like a big brick.
Yeah.
All right.
The car phones.
Yeah. And if you wanted to go ahead and get one of those phones, you had to sign a 2-year contract.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to upgrade later on or downgrade, you had to go in and sign a new contract. And do you remember when you had to pay for calls by the minute?
Oh yeah. And then like it was free nights, like, but you had to wait till a certain time.
Right, yeah. And the bill when you got it was just a nightmare. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, I have been with Consumer Cellular now for a few months.
Mhm.
And you know, the bill did go up a little bit, and it really did that only because when I'm away and I'm doing some streaming online,
Yeah.
okay, you know that you're eating away at the data,
Yep.
and you know that's going to cause it to go up a little bit. Now you know they're going to go ahead and jump you up $10 at a time. So I think the highest I paid so far was $40, but that's a
That's
far
pretty good.
cry to $80. Okay, what
Absolutely.
I was paying for the same service.
Mhm.
So you know this is money that I am saving
Mm-hmm.
right now. And, you know, it may not seem like a whole lot of money right now, but if you spread that over a year's time, look how much money you're saving.
Yeah.
You're saving $400 to $500.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do with that money is, you know, your business. But
Yeah.
for me, you know, I look at it as putting that money aside
Yep.
and spending it on camping destinations. I don't know what we're going to do about gas prices. I mean,
Yeah.
right now they're through the roof.
Yeah. It's
And
rough.
we both know, you know, you having a pop-up and myself
Yeah.
having an RV, and I don't even want to think what folks who own a fifth wheel are paying in gas right
Yep.
now, because most of them are probably using not unleaded fuel, but they're probably using diesel.
Oh yeah.
And diesel fuel's not cheap.
It's through the roof. I
Yeah.
remember back in the day that back in the 90s, diesel was always cheaper than regular. It's never gone back though.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, you know, that's one of the things that I'm doing to save money right now, too. You know, here's another thing, Daniel. Food prices.
Mm-hmm.
All right. People, and I read this morning that some folks are now using their credit card because they can't afford groceries.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And that's a really sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
But, you know, I want to say I'm not a super careful shopper,
Yeah.
but I do pay attention to price.
Mm-hmm.
I do pay attention to ads and deals that are out there. Now, grocery stores, folks, you think about the area that you're living in right now. Yes, you probably have more than one grocery chain in your area,
Mm-hmm.
and you are probably looking at competition right there. Grocery stores will try to pull in new customers just like car dealers do,
Yep.
just like cell phone companies do. So, you know, do some careful shopping, and that's what I do. Now, here's something that really, Daniel, is a thorn in my side.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you probably may not notice this, but psychologically, you know, you probably see it whenever you go to the store
Uh-huh.
or, you know, your better half goes shopping. I don't know which one of the two of you do the grocery shopping.
We get it dropped off.
You get a drop.
we don't
Okay.
even-
Hey,
We don't even deal with it.
Daniel, hey,
we just order online and it gets dropped at our door.
hey, if that works, super. I'm glad it does
Saves
for you.
time.
But, you know, one of the things, Daniel, that really irritate the daylights out of me, okay, is especially in today's day and age, some of these big corporations think we as consumers are stupid and we don't notice certain things. But have you ever noticed that some of the products that you buy regularly are now shrinking
Yep.
in size, okay?
Shrinkflation, I think they call it, or something like that.
Wow, Daniel, you know, I'm not going to mention it, but there is a major potato chip company out there. I think we all know which one I'm talking about. Every time I turn around, that bag is getting smaller and the price is going up.
Yep.
All
They
right.
put more air in it.
Yeah, that's probably, you're right. They're probably doing just that. But you're not getting the product.
Yep.
Now, when I see that, Daniel, today, more so now than ever, I stop buying.
Mm-hmm.
I will not buy from that company because I don't like being cheated.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody else out there who is a careful shopper, whether you're a camper or not, all right, enjoys being cheated.
Yep.
And some of these companies think we're too stupid to recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the only way today that I may buy that is, one, if I don't see another product on the shelf that suits my taste buds,
Mm-hmm.
or if the store that I'm buying from is offering a buy one get one free deal.
Yep.
And we have a grocery chain down here that has a lot of buy one get one free deals.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, okay. And if I can get 2 bags of potato chips for one price, then maybe I'll go ahead and buy that. Sometimes, Daniel, I really, and of course I don't really have the time, but then again I do. I'm retired. Okay. I really feel like sitting down and writing the CEOs of these companies.
Oh, boy.
Saying, hey, listen, you're not pulling a fast one on me. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stop buying your product because of what you're doing. I guarantee you, Daniel, that they are not cheating the federal government out of tax money like they are cheating the consumer. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm getting on my bandwagon here. Okay? But, Daniel, it's all about saving money.
Yep.
All right? So, this past camping trip I went on, it was no different than any other, Daniel. I brought too much food.
Oh, boy.
Way too much food. And, and it takes me about 3 totes full of food into the RV before I have it fully packed and ready to go for a week's worth of camping. Okay. But I don't know. Sometimes you get there and you're really not hungry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not one who eats a big breakfast every morning. Yeah, I may have a biscuit or, and a cup of coffee. Definitely have the coffee. All right. There's no doubt about that.
Gotta have that.
That coffee pot and that big batch of coffee that I bring along, you've got to have that along with creamers and my sweet and low. So, I'm trying to think that I really want to be a careful shopper.
Yep.
And, I had a big menu planned out at one time, but now I start to think about, well, maybe I'll just go ahead. I'll toss a steak in here, maybe some burgers and, you still have too much stuff when you're camping. Okay. But, you've got to look for places that you can cut back. And if you can set that money aside, if you're used to spending $80 a month on a cell phone bill, now you got that down to about $30 or $40. If you can consciously set that money aside for a future camping trip, you may be surprised just how many camping trips in a year's time that you'll be able to take.
Or maybe set up like a savings account just for camping and take that money that you're saving and then take it out of your check. So like when you were paying $80 for your cell phone bill, so you could take $40 from your check or whatever and just put it into the camping account or something like that. That's what we like to do. We have different accounts for different things. Like we have a house account, and then we have about 3 or 4 accounts for certain things, and it automatically comes out and it's set aside.
Yeah,
so we don't spend.
It's definitely a recreation account that you have now. You and your wife enjoy going to Dragon Con every year in Atlanta, and they didn't have it one year because of COVID.
Yep.
But you went this past.
I did
this past year. And I know that cost you some money, not only to get in, but being the fact in downtown Atlanta, you're staying in one of the well-known hotels down there.
Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton, okay. And I'm sure they have blocks of rooms set aside at a discount. But still, the Ritz-Carlton isn't going to cost you some money.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what you're doing for food down there. Okay. But, that's costing money as well.
Oh, yeah.
But, you go there for what, a week or so?
It's about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. And you come back home and... it's not the kind of camping that I would do. All right,
there's camping down there. They have RVs down there and parking spots, and they got their little setup and everything.
And why aren't you bringing your pop-up?
I think it costs. I don't know. That would be weird.
It's probably a little cheaper than the Ritz-Carlton to go, but maybe something to consider for next year. And you get you kill 2 birds with one stone. There, you're going to an event and you're going camping. But no, that's all right. But there's if you can go ahead like Daniel's saying here is you can put an account aside strictly for camping, and the money that you're saving from other things that you're cutting costs on. All right, then you'll be able to add that money to that account, and if it's a camping account, definitely take advantage of it. Plan some more days. Again, folks like Daniel, he's him and his wife Deidre are currently employed, and they're both government workers, and they you do a pretty good job of coordinating your time off. Yeah, but you don't have time off like I do.
No, I don't.
You will one of these days.
Maybe.
And again. For myself, I do a lot of camping at the recreation.gov campsite. So
yes, you do.
that little access pass, the lifetime senior access pass, that's going to save you money as well. 50% off. This camping trip, Daniel, that I went on up here at Springfield Campground, 5 days and 4 nights. Set aside the rain for a second, okay? 5 days and 4 nights only cost me $62.
Wow. That's really good.
That is.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I've got several more on the horizon here. So, I mean, it works out very well for me. All right. And but again, like I was saying right here at the top of the show, Daniel, it really depends on your individual situation. What may work for me may not work for you.
Yep.
Especially on the situation with cell phones. It's just me. It may be you, your spouse. You may have kids in the family that are all on the same plan.
Yep.
That's going to cost more money, but still shop around and try to get the best deal.
Yep.
I was a little apprehensive about going with Consumer Cellular because I didn't know. I was thinking, well, for $20 a month, I'm going to lose coverage. I'm going to have dead spots. Do you remember when we first moved over there, Daniel?
Oh, yeah,
we had
AT&T.
you
had to stand in the middle of the road.
stand in the middle of the road to take your calls because they were constantly dropping off.
Yep.
All right. I mean, that's the way it was for us in our technologically deprived neighborhood.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, if you can save money, don't be afraid to shop around. Nobody likes change.
Yeah.
All right. People are really apprehensive of change. For me, it's working out real well right now for me.
As long as you got your phone paid off, it's good. It's just when they rope you into getting the latest and greatest, and then you're stuck with them for 2 years, you can't really do anything. But, once we get ours paid off, we might do the same thing you did.
Well, I'll tell you something else that I've got going for me right now, too, Daniel. In 3 more months, my truck is going to be paid off.
Oh,
There's
nice.
another $800 a month. Now,
Nice.
I could upgrade, but why?
Yeah.
The truck is running very well for me. Okay. And I've got no complaints about it. So, it's got 80-some thousand miles on it.
That's not bad.
I hope to put another 80 on it before I
At least.
Yeah. Okay. But, rising costs on other things, you can't avoid those.
Yep.
In this particular area, Daniel, our insurance rates went up, and I'm sure your insurance
Property
rate,
tax went up. Yeah.
Yeah, everything is going up. So, keep that in mind for next year while you're working right now to do what you can to cut costs for you and your family. Believe me, it makes all the difference in the world. And like I say, folks, you can go camping anywhere you want to go camping. I promote recreation.gov. We don't get paid
It's the
for
cheapest,
that.
that's for sure. These state parks are not cheap.
No, they're not.
State
but-
parks are like $40-50 a night.
Right. But, the thing is, Daniel, whether it be the state parks or places like recreation.gov, they're still probably cheaper than the private campgrounds. Now, not taking anything away from them.
Yeah.
Okay, because they are very customer-oriented, too. But the fact is, the campgrounds that I've been going to are very well, neatly kept. Springfield Campground is a perfect example of that. All right, the campgrounds up on Lake Lanier, perfect example. I went to the McKinney Campground. And Daniel, I forgot to mention this here, the McKinney Campground, my very first camping destination of this year. I went up there not having any idea where I was going because I've never camped up in the Ackworth area as far back as I can remember. But I must have had tunnel vision when I got there. When I showed up at camp, I enjoyed, some great days, some great nights. It was a little chilly. But when I left there and I got back on the interstate, no sooner did I head I-85 or I-75 south, I-75, that's what it is up there.
Yeah.
I looked to my left, and there is the Cabela's store. Oh, Daniel, I was right there. I had no earthly clue that that's the exit where Cabela's was. Now, I do know that now. And the next time I go camping up on Lake Allatoona, if I'm going to go to the McKinney Campground, I'm going to have a wad of cash in my pocket because I am going to park my RV and I'm going to go right down the street and I'm going to go do some shopping at Cabela's.
All right.
And they're very pet friendly, so I can bring Sadie with me.
That's good.
So that'll all work out well. But anyway, folks, I hope you found this particular episode educational and entertaining. Again, what works for me may not work for you. But in today's day and age, especially with prices being like they are and things going up, you try to cut back as much as you possibly can. And I would really hate to think that, if you're going to be cutting back, you're going to be cutting back on recreation. You're going to be cutting back on those camping trips because that's the only thing, in my personal opinion, that keeps you level-headed.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
and
nice.
keeps your mind straight.
It does.
Okay, so keep that in mind, and hope you have a good episode here, and I hope you've enjoyed it. It's time now, Daniel, for our featured campground of the week, right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Daniel, let's go out west here to the
All
state
right.
of Arkansas.
Ooh,
Arkansas, wow. Yeah.
they got diamonds there.
Diamonds?
Yeah, there's a state park where they'll let you go through the field and look for diamonds.
No kidding. Okay, well, I don't think you're going to be able to do that at this particular campground, but who knows? We're going to go to the Cowhide Cove Campground. The Cowhide Cove Campground is located on Lake Greason on the beautiful Little Missouri River in Pike County, Arkansas. The lake is approximately 12 miles long and 7,260 surface acres of water.
Wow.
The Cowhide Campground offers 50 campsites, including 48 sites with electrical hookups and 2 tent-only sites without electrical hookups. The campsites have picnic tables, ground grills, pedestal grills, and lantern posts. Other amenities include the dump station, hot showers. You need a hot shower, especially out there in hot Arizona. Yeah, a boat ramp.
Arkansas.
Arkansas, yeah, I keep getting them two mixed up. Playground and swim beach. But you know something, Daniel? It's a great campground. I'm going to venture out west. I still got plans to go to Texas sometime soon.
It doesn't rain too much out there, I don't think. I don't know. You got to go somewhere it doesn't rain.
Yeah, unless the rain follows you.
Maybe.
That happens too. But, you know, this is a beautiful campground, and we're going to have a link to it all week long on happycamperradio.com. Again, don't forget, if you don't already have a recreation.gov account, this is an excellent opportunity for you to get one. It doesn't cost you a dime to sign up. Look for the little tab up at the top left-hand corner, or right-hand corner, rather. It says sign up and log in. You can log in if you have an account. If not, go ahead and sign up for one. It makes your camping reservations go so much smoother anytime that you use recreation.gov to book a recreation.gov campground. And I'm going to be going to one pretty soon, Daniel. I've got to get busy here in the midst of producing the show and doing some other things around the house. I've got to spend some time thinking about where my next camping destination is. But it's going to be a good one, wherever it may be. And if you want to go camping, hey, consider this one out in Arkansas. Arkansas. Yeah, it's the Cowhide Cove Campground. It is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel on happycamperradio.com.
And if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, all you got to do is get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or the guy with the Bucky t-shirt on.
Hey, Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And be sure to include a link to the campground website. Well, that's going to wrap up today's edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show. Daniel, I'm glad to be back. Glad to be in the studio.
Yeah.
I don't miss the rain. All right. Hopefully the next camping trip I go on is going to be so much better. It beats tent camping. It really does. Yeah.
That's true.
Anyway, folks, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us on the web. We're there 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on that button right down there. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I'm Happy Camper. Daniel definitely is the Happy Camper. And you hang around with us, folks. We're going to make a happy camper out of you. We'll talk to you again real soon. Have a good one, everybody. This is Happy Camper Radio.
Happy Camper Radio.